18 Iranian ballistic missiles are in the air. Inbound to Kharg Island. Inbound to the Marines already fighting on it. 12 are intercepted. 6 get through. 3 hit the oil terminal complex, Iran destroying its own island rather than surrender it. The blast radius kills 11 United States Marines in under 4 seconds. Lieutenant Colonel Davis doesn't stop. His voice comes over battalion net, flat and cold. All elements, push to the terminal now. They just marked the objective for us. This is hour 18 of the assault on Kharg Island. There are 78 hours left on the clock, and the hardest fighting hasn't started yet. This is a fictional military scenario based on real U.S. Armed Forces capabilities and current operational assets, not actual events. By day 32 of Operation Epic Fury, the United States had destroyed Iran's air defenses, annihilated its navy, and killed its supreme leader. But Tehran still held one weapon that none of those strikes could eliminate: the Strait of Hormuz. Mines in the water, fast attack boats hunting tankers in the dark. 20% of the world's oil supply stopped. CENTCOM's answer was Kharg Island, a coral outcrop 1/3 the size of Manhattan, 32 kilometers off the Iranian coast. 90% of Iran's crude exports flow through its loading terminals. Seize it, and you hold the one bargaining chip that forces Tehran to choose between the negotiating table and complete economic collapse. Iran understood this before the first Marine boot hit the sand. For 3 weeks, the IRGC fortified Kharg with everything it had left. 800 fighters in hardened positions. Man-pad anti-aircraft batteries on the northern ridgeline. Anti-armor mines buried across every viable landing beach in a deliberate 400-meter kill zone. Rocket artillery on the mainland, 32 kilometers away, pre-registered on the oil terminal. And Iranian FPV attack drones, the same technology that had been hunting vehicles across the Gulf, repositioned to the island's eastern perimeter. The island had absorbed 90 U.S. airstrikes on March 13th. Its defenses were degraded, not destroyed. The IRGC commander on the island, Brigadier General Farhadi, had 3 weeks to prepare for this moment, and he used every hour of it. The mission: seize Kharg in 96 hours, secure the terminal, break the last lever of Iranian economic power. 1,200 Marines are going to find out what 3 weeks of Iranian preparation looks like up close. The assault opens at 0200 hours, 90 minutes before the first Marine touches ground. F-35Bs from VMFA 121, Green Knights, launch off USS Tripoli's deck and go invisible over Iranian airspace. Their sensors map every surviving man-pad position on the northern ridgeline in real time, feeding targeting solutions directly to the AH-1Z Vipers, running 400 feet below the cloud deck. Both man-pad sites are eliminated before a single Iranian trigger is pulled. At 00:30, H-hour, 12 MV-22B Ospreys lift off Tripoli, carrying 288 Marines from Battalion Landing Team 3 Kinwart 1, at 280 knots toward Kharg's central plateau. Insertion point, 3 kilometers behind the IRGC's fortified southern beaches. The vertical envelopment forces Iranian defenders to fight in 2 directions at once before the sun rises. Simultaneously, 4 LCACs launch from USS New Orleans at 40 knots, hovercraft carrying amphibious combat vehicles and LAV-25 light armor directly toward Kharg's southern shoreline. AH-1Z Vipers run suppression fire ahead of the beachhead. 200 meters from the waterline, the lead ACV lurches and stops. Track shredded by an anti-armor mine. The assault route is mined, not random scatter. A deliberate kill zone, buried across a 400-meter band covering every viable approach on the southern coast. The column halts under direct fire from the ridge above. The LCACs cannot extract without abandoning the vehicles. Davis makes the call in 90 seconds. Alpha, push south from the plateau now. We flank the ridge from above. Surface element holds. Vipers suppress. Engineers breach on foot. The plan is dead. The mission continues. Alpha Company covers 2 kilometers of open plateau under small arms fire while engineers move forward with Miklik systems, rocket-propelled line charges that detonate a cleared path straight through the buried minefield. The breach takes 22 minutes under fire. At 0431, 1 hour after H hour, the first ACV rolls through the cleared lane. The beach is held. First contact on the plateau had come at 0347. A hardened IRGC bunker opens with DSHK heavy machine guns, 12.7mm rounds cutting through the scrub at chest height. 2 Marines down. A squad leader keys his radio. Tango Grid Delta 79er, hardened structure, requesting Viper. The AH-1Z is already overhead. 8 seconds later, a hellfire erases the bunker. Kharg's first defensive line is broken. By hour 18, the Marines hold 60% of the island. Then Farhadi makes his move. At 2147 hours, USS Frank E. Peterson, Jr., an Arleigh Burke destroyer on picket duty 40 miles southwest, picks up 18 ballistic missile tracks simultaneously, launched from Khuzestan province on the Iranian mainland. Standard Missile 3 interceptors go out automatically. 12 missiles down. 6 get through. 3 hit the oil terminal complex. Iran is destroying its own island, denying it to the Americans the only way it can. 1 missile hits the LCAC staging area on the southern beach. 2 splash short of USS New Orleans. The blast radius from the terminal strikes kills 11 Marines and wounds 34 in 4 seconds. These are men who crossed an ocean, breached a minefield, and held a beach under fire. Gone before anyone could call a medevac. Davis doesn't grieve on net. He can't. All elements, push to the terminal now. They just marked the objective for us. Farhadi simultaneously launches his naval counterattack. 8 IRGC go-fast vessels sprint from the mainland coast at 45 knots. Rocket pods, DSHK mounts, 32 kilometers to the exposed beach. 40 minutes. The Green Knights catch them at the 10-kilometer mark. 2 F-35Bs roll in with GBU-53 small-diameter bomb 2s, millimeter-wave radar seekers locked onto fast-moving surface targets. First pass. 4 boats gone. Second pass. 3 more. The 8th boat turns for home. An AH-1Z Viper follows it to the Iranian coastline before breaking off. 8 boats, 11 minutes. Naval threat eliminated. But inside the oil terminal complex, the worst fight of the operation is just beginning. The terminal is not a battlefield. It is a labyrinth. 3-meter diameter pipe runs become cover. Steel tank platforms become sniper nests 40 feet above ground. Industrial pump stations create choke points that funnel Marines into pre-sighted kill zones. And Farhadi's fighters are using FPV drones, first-person view attack drones guided by operators watching live video, to hunt individual Marines through the maze with centimeter precision. Bravo Company loses its commander to an FPV strike at 2340 hours. The XO takes command without breaking stride. The company fragments into 2-man buddy teams, moving through dead space between equipment runs, calling every target up to Vipers circling overhead. Hour 36. 14 C-17 Globemasters cross into Kharg airspace at 24,000 feet. 600 paratroopers from the 82nd Airborne's 1st Brigade Combat Team drop onto the Plateau DZ, the same ground Alpha Company cleared 18 hours earlier. 80 seconds of canopy time. 0 casualties on the jump. The 82nd's 105mm artillery is assembled on the drop zone in 40 minutes. It opens counter-battery fire against the Iranian MLRS positions on the mainland. Simultaneously, 14 Tomahawk Block V missiles launched from the destroyers hit 6 Iranian MLRS battery positions in a single coordinated strike. The mainland fire stops. Without resupply from the coast, without air cover, without communication to Farhadi's shattered command net, the remaining IRGC fighters inside the terminal begin falling back to the last hardened structure on the island's northern edge. At 042 hours on day 4, hour 94 of the operation, Marine Gunnery Sergeant Reyes's squad breaches the final command post. Brigadier General Farhadi is inside, alive, on an encrypted satellite phone to IRGC headquarters in Tehran. The call is interrupted. Farhadi is detained. The phone is seized. 94 hours after the first Osprey touched down, Kharg Island belongs to the United States Marine Corps. Which unit do you think was decisive? The 31st MEU Marines or the 82nd Airborne? Drop your answer in the comments. And tell us what scenario you want to see next on Operation Fury. The final count from Kharg Island. 584 IRGC fighters neutralized, 147 taken prisoner including Farhadi, and 11 senior officers. 8 fast attack boats destroyed before reaching the operational area. A cache of 2,400 anti-ship mines discovered in an underground facility adjacent to the terminal pump station. Every one of them intended for the Strait of Hormuz. U.S. casualties, 22 killed in action, 91 wounded. Within 6 hours of Farhadi's capture, Washington delivered one message to Tehran through Pakistani intermediaries. Reopen the Strait of Hormuz within 72 hours, or the terminal infrastructure on Kharg is erased permanently. Not damaged, erased. In Tehran's back channels, officials begin describing a deal as imminent. This is the largest successful amphibious assault since the seizure of Iraq's Al-Fa Peninsula in 2003. It took 96 hours. But the phone that Farhadi was holding when Reyes's squad came through the door, that call was still connected to IRGC headquarters in Tehran. Someone on the other end heard everything. What were they planning? And what does Iran do next when it has nothing left to lose? That scenario is coming to Operation Fury. Subscribe and hit the bell. You don't want to miss what happens when the other end of that phone call gives its final order. See you on the next operation.